Today is the 987th day of Ukraine's confrontation in the war against invading Russia. Given the difficult situation at the front, Ukrainians have to hunt the enemy day and night. The Russians are using the tactic of meat attacks, when a large number of inexperienced soldiers aggressively try to seize Ukrainian positions. The Ukrainians, in turn, ruthlessly destroy the enemy with the help of kamikaze drones, artillery, and tanks. Today, we're going to take a look at the best battles of this week, how Ukrainians destroyed the Russian occupiers. I'm Hustler. Let's get started. Zaporizhzhia direction. Aggressive attempt by Russian occupants to seize Ukrainian positions using 8 armored vehicles. Ukrainians met the invaders with accurate kamikaze drone attacks on their equipment. Russian infantry was also detected and neutralized. Russian armored personnel carriers carrying another group of Russian infantry were also attacked. Ukrainians successfully repelled the assault, eliminating the occupiers and destroying their armored vehicles. Ukrainian aerial reconnaissance spotted a tank on Ukrainian-controlled territory. A targeted shot was fired at it using a javelin. After a hit, the tank caught fire and completely burned down. Another Russian attempt to invade Ukrainian territory with heavy armored vehicles. Russian infantry arrives on the battlefield on a scooter. Russian stormtroopers climbed out of the hit armored vehicle and tried to hide in the woods. The two occupiers were carrying something on a unicycle. They did not even realize that they were under surveillance. Ukrainian drone pilots began to neutralize the Russian occupiers who had ambushed them in a destroyed house. Another important target was discovered by Ukrainian air reconnaissance. It was an SA-27 Golem anti-aircraft missile system. An accurate charge was fired from Vilka, destroying the missile system. Another missile system firing at Ukrainian positions was discovered by intelligence. After the shelling of Ukrainian territory, it hid in a shelter, and a few minutes later, a shell from a Ukrainian HIMARS hit it. Pokrovsk direction, Russians are aggressively trying to seize Ukrainian positions. A column of Russian armored vehicles moves toward the Ukrainian infantry. Ukrainian defenders meet it with artillery fire and attack with kamikaze drones. The first line of attack was successfully repelled. Later, another convoy of Russian tanks was spotted, which was immediately fired upon. The Russian military, not expecting such resistance, was forced to retreat, but Ukrainian drone operators did not stop attacking incessantly. Frightened, the Russians began to abandon their damaged equipment and ran to the forests. And another total destruction of a Russian column of armored vehicles. The Russians, facing fierce resistance from the Ukrainian military, are fleeing the battlefield faster than tanks to save their lives. An unsuccessful offensive for the Russians turned into a total defeat. Russian attack aircraft tried to break through to Ukrainian positions using an armored personnel carrier. Their movement was spotted by Ukrainian intelligence. At the same time, the Ukrainian military waited for the best moment and fired a precise shot from a javelin. Completely destroying the combat vehicle. And then we eliminated the entire enemy landing force. Here, Russians are fleeing the battlefield in a Russian-made car called a bukhanka. They were carrying wounded soldiers in it, but the car could not accelerate quickly because of the load, and in order to lighten the weight, the Russians began throwing their wounded soldiers out. But this did not help them. Here, the Russians tried to capture Ukrainian positions with tanks and armored vehicles with infantry. The Ukrainians began to resist them, destroying the tanks with kamikaze drones and dropping shells directly on the occupiers' heads. Thank you, friends, for watching to the end. Subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with the latest events. This video was prepared by Hustler. See you soon.